Good morning, one and all. Back once again. The Cockerel Doodle, your Spurs morning show with Tottenham on Tour is here. I hope you're all good. I hope you are all well. I'm here with one guest. There will be a second guest joining us shortly. But my partner in crime, Johnny, how are you, sir?
I'm okay. Someone stole the sun. I don't know what happened to it, but it's been a great week. And if you're going to be without football, what better way to have the sun out so you can while away the hours. But you know what's weird, Brian? Having spent the whole of last season praying for international break,
Yep.
This is the first time in about 4 years I was gutted that it turned up.
I feel we should say so. Before we say good morning to everyone, update on Flygate.
There was another massacre a couple of days ago, and I'll not learn, right? It wasn't by design, it was by mistake. I left what I thought was an emptied cup. It was like a dribble of coffee at the best. I woke up, there must have been 60 of the buggers there, but I managed to get the raid out and slaughter them. And I don't know if you've ever seen The Fly with Rowan Atkinson, right? I think it was on Netflix.
Yep.
I was just putting my stuff in the fridge. I thought I must have got them all. There was one buzzing. I'm praying when the cold weather comes, apparently that's it. They're done. But if you've ever had a fruit fly infestation, I feel for you, honestly, because they're a pain in the bloody arse and they're everywhere.
Right. Let's get into football. But before we do so,
we talk about a new signing.
Yeah, we're going to, but we'll say hello to everyone first. So good morning to Simon. Good morning, Tempest Fugit. Good morning, P. Good morning, Warrior Without a Master. Good morning, or good evening, shall I say, Reginald from Oz. Active on Wembley. Well done. Good morning, sir. Big up the Bertie Hotspur. Mark Ishmael, all the way in Oz again. Another Australian, and I forgot to watch The Age of Ange. I promised Ren to watch it today, and on tomorrow's show, I will talk about it. Or we will talk
about it. Yeah.
Have you watched it yet, Johnny?
No. It's been
all right. So we'll make sure we watch it today.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into it. Drula, good morning, and Ren, good morning. Chris, good morning. Benjamin Foster, good morning. Ryan McFarlane, good morning. Mark the Sheriff Cousins, good morning.
Morning, Mark. Morning, everyone.
Mashina Joe, good morning. Fran, good morning. Hun, Kudos, good morning. Colin Cross, as always, good morning. Andy T, International Observer. Who else we got? There we go. So we're in. So let's get talking. So yesterday, a bit of a bombshell broke out of. As wrestling fans would say, oh, good morning, Kuva, my brother. Good morning, Kuva. I hope you are good. And on your bike, Scott has just joined us. Good morning. So, yeah, out of nowhere, Fabrizio Romano, and I do mean out of nowhere, dropped an absolute bombshell that Tottenham Hotspur have signed 16-year-old Luka Vuskovic. I think, or Vuskovic, should I say. Yeah. So,
I'm amazed. I got to be honest with you, Brian. I'm like stunned because, I don't know if I'm a bit obsessive. So I look at, top young talents coming. And you look down the list and you try and look at them and see what's what. This kid, I thought, was guaranteed to go to Man City or PSG or even Real Madrid. Really, I mean, honestly, his kid's like unbelievable. I mean, 6'4" at 15, made his debut at 15 years of age for Hajduk Split. Okay, it was an unofficial debut, but he made his official debut at 16, 2 days after his official 16th birthday, and played 90 minutes in a derby. The kid is a bit of a freak. Whether or not that, Brian, that advantage will carry on, he's powerful in the head, heading, scoring goals. I mean, obviously, when you're 6'4" and you're massively bigger than the vast majority of people in your age group, you're going to dominate. He scores more goals than most of the people in his age group, even though he plays at centre back. But whether or not he will still have that when he moves up the ranks, I mean, the fact that he's been likened to Gavadal and we've signed him. Although I don't think he comes to us till 2025 when he turns 18. Listen, this is another signing from Paratici and Gabbanini and the rest of the team, bringing in, like I've been saying for the last year and a bit now, the top talents between 16 and 19 or 16 and 20 years of age, right? This is the directive. You know, when Paratici cleared out that academy of all the Instagram parents and players that were there, look, I'm at Spurs, but really weren't good enough. There was a bit of an uproar, but it's been replaced with non-stop recruitment of the highest. Oh, sorry,
can't go a show without me. Can't go a show.
Sorry. Oh shit! I think it went in my coffee. The highest recruitment. I mean, we are signing top talent. I never thought I saw a thing about him probably about 3 months ago. A bit similar to Veliz, how I stumbled across him at the under-20s, but never thought he was going to come to us. How we managed to do it, I'm not sure, because Man City were offering to pay, I think, £12 million back in April for a 16-year-old. That tells you everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I have to say on this is first of all, as good a transfer this may turn out to be, the amount of people that all of a sudden are Croatian expert and know absolutely everything about this guy. It's like, from what I've been seeing on Twitter, we've signed a combination of Maldini, Baresi, Nesta, Cannavaro, Ledley King, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everyone.
It's actually likened to Gerald Piqué, actually.
But let's just chuck him into the list. I'm not going to go around. I didn't know it until 4:56 yesterday afternoon. I had no idea who this guy was. I still have relatively no idea. I understand that this is a big deal, and it's amazing to go find a 16-year-old. I understand he's coming back when he's 18, so he's got 2 years left with Hackdale split.
Yeah.
It is a good move, don't get me wrong. It just came out of nowhere. And listen, I understand the stable we've got coming through right now, and it's building. I just think, again, this could have been done with players during the window, where it could have helped the squad. Listen, right Brian,
now. You're not going to have any argument from me, but, you know, we are looking at, you know, we're talking about a club that had an academy. What was that saying? Build it and they will come. We build this fantastic state-of-the-art Hotspur Way and stadium, and basically we got nothing. We've had nothing in it. We've produced absolutely nothing. We don't want to produce one Harry Kane every 10 years. You know, I'm not going to get excited about Oliver Skipp and Harry Winks, right? I'm not interested in those. I'm talking about producing top talent. You know, like Man City, like Chelsea, like Arsenal, okay? And this is an opportunity. And over a year ago, when I was telling people that the drive was to recruit 16 to 19-year-olds with a view for the future, is of no interest to, you know, the average Spurs fan, because they're interested in the now, as am I. But I'm saying, you know, if we can build a team now, if this is Andrew's team now, and we carry on recruiting for the first team, and have this conveyor belt of incredible talent coming through. I mean, right now, we're going to have Vlasic, Phillips, Dorrington, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when did we ever have three, like, unbelievable centre-backs coming through? I mean, Ledley King, Tanganga, right?
I've got, no, Johnny, I get all that. But that's to say that those three all come in and do the business. I think we both know about Ashley
Phillips. Definitely will.
Yeah, you and I have waxed lyrical about Phillips. Yeah. Dorrington is a very, very good prospect. And this one at the moment is doing it in the Croatian league. Don't get me wrong. Like you said, Manchester City, PSG, and other teams going for him. There is something there. There is something there.
Gavaldo they're saying they're on parallel from where they were age to age, and they're about the same size and height. He's very big, he's very powerful. And it's not just that, Brian, you know, he's very good reading. I mean, the one thing was, if it was just his winning with his height and power, then I would be a little bit more sceptical, because it's easier to dominate when you're playing against 15 and 16-year-old kids. But the fact he was playing as a 16-year-old kid at centre-back, I mean, just to add some context to that game, when he made his debut against, I think it was Dynamo Zagreb in the derby, putting a 16-year-old who's just turned 16 2 days ago in a derby, the youngest player ever to play in Croatia in such a game, they lost 4-0.
There you go. I mean, we will have to look at, like you said, I mean, James Flower, who's in the chat, me and him are going to do a video this week about, Johnny, you could be a part of it as well if you want. We're going to pre-record it about the youth coming through and how they can affect the future. And obviously now we have one more to put into the list.
I've been going on about this for such a long time, Brian.
The youth academy, listen, you're talking to someone who has bigged up Alfie Devine and kept an eye out on the youth just as much as you. So it's all good coming through. Finally, it looks like there may be a plethora of players coming in. But I'm going to add a subject to this before we start talking about the Levy, Postecoglou, Sonny meeting and the timing of it and everything about it. I want to talk England, or the England skipper, very, very quickly. But I'm doing that. But after we've got a super chat from Mr. KPV saying, big up, Brian and Johnny. Hope you're good. I just wanted to see some more Ange ball. And Kyle Walker scored his first England goal in 77 attempts. So, yeah, big up Kyle Walker. We want to see more Ange ball, because more Ange ball means more Ange management, which will be coming Sunday after Sheffield United. We're almost there, Carl. We're almost there. I think we all feel the same, don't we, Johnny?
Yeah. Can't wait.
We all feel the same. So I'm sure you and I might.
Who is that guy you were talking about, Brian?
Yeah, well, listen, it needs to be spoken about. The Harry Kane comments and the way they've been portrayed, I think you and me might disagree quite a bit about this.
Well, we're going to disagree because I know exactly where you're going to go for it, but I just feel...
How do you feel about it?
You do not need to speak and say what you're saying. That's my opinion, right? Okay? You don't need to. Why didn't you say it? Why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you speak up when Conte threw his toys out of the pram and say, yeah, I agree with the boss, right? Why didn't you say something before? You know, why wait until you've gone away and start going on about winning mentality and, you know, we don't care if we lose and all that? It's all unnecessary, Brian, right? You know, your reputation, you are, you know, you'll go down in history. You do not need to go and say, I mean, I think there's a mixture here. If I put on my Spurs hat, right, I'm annoyed and I think it was totally unnecessary. But if I was looking at as an outsider looking in, as a football fan, I think he's somewhat trying to appease his new teammates and his new club by saying, this is a bigger club, this is a bigger mentality. You know, I'm so glad to be here. You know, I think there's a touch of that, to be honest. It was just no need to mention the club.
Do you know what? I've got to say, I mean, I agree with parts of what you're saying, but do you know what? He should have spoken out. He should have spoken out prior. I don't deny that one bit whatsoever. But it's the way it's being made such a big deal of. It's like, if you look at it, if he was going on about not losing 2 games in a row, it's not being a disaster. Listen, we went out of the Carabao Cup in the second round. There's no kick-off. This is the culture of the football club. Oh, so we just move on to the next game. I understand what you say. He's gone somewhere now where you have to win. You have to win. There is no failure. Second is failure. We don't have that here for obvious reasons. Not Johnny. Not just because of the board, the quality of the league. It's a lot harder here. But I understand what he's saying. Should he have said it? No. Should he have said it? No. He should have just kept quiet. I think there's a lot of bad. I think when this gets revealed in 10 years, whatever down the line, I think a lot of bad blood and a lot of animosity is going to come out the woodwork from both sides.
It's true. Arsenal side has come out now. I mean, Arsenal fan side. Look, we all know the whole family's Arsenal, right?
You can say it that way. You can say that way, but also it was a bitter leave, and he's bitter, so I can kind of understand parts of it. But Joe, let's bring in the other guest, David, with us. Oh, he's changed his background. David, how are we doing, sir?
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you guys? You all right, Johnny?
All right.
We're good. We're good. David, I'm going to put you on the spot immediately to discuss two things, or your opinions on two things.
Right. Okay.
First of all, the signing yesterday of Luka Vuskovic.
Yeah.
I've got 2 years to get that right now, thankfully. I've got 2 years to get it right. And then what you thought of Harry Kane's comments.
Oh, on the spot. About Luka, haven't got a clue. Didn't know he even existed until yesterday. It's not like I sit there going through, you know what I mean, every kid on the planet, you know what I mean? But from what I've seen and what people have said about him, he's meant to be a really good player. He's got a high ceiling type of thing like that. But other than that, not a clue. I watched a 3-minute YouTube video of him, and that's about it, really. And Kane's comments, I mean, is he wrong? I know it seems disrespectful. It's like, why did he have to bring up Tottenham? But, I mean, is he really wrong? You know, the mentalities, we've seen that for years. The mentality being, if we lose a couple of games to the players, it's like, oh, so what? Well, we lost a couple of games.
Ren's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Ren's spot on, right? Ren has hit it on the nail on the head, right? You're talking about Bayern Munich, who go out and win the league 9 years in a row. Of course, losing is not acceptable. Of course, winning every game. Of course, winning 4-1 is crap when you're playing a team that you should be winning 7-0 against, right? This is not the Premier League. So from that point of view, I get it, right? You know, what context was he saying it? But, you know, he's part of the problem, right? And I'm not having that he distanced himself, right? 13 finals and semi-finals he's been in as an England player and as a Tottenham player in semis. He scored 3 goals and 1 assist in 13 finals and semi-finals, okay? You are part of the problem. And I've heard it. Oh, Sonny was the same. Yeah, he was. But you can't distance yourself and be, you know, part of the bits you want to be part of, okay? And blame everything. We all know what the ball did. The fact that he didn't allow, apparently, Kane to say goodbye to the rest of the squad is wrong, okay? You know, he's been a servant. There was no need for him to behave like for Levy and the ball to behave like that. But there is no need. It serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever for him to be in Germany, go in, have your successful career, and get on with it. But don't bitch about what's gone on before. And as I've said before, bite off the hand that fed you for so many years. We appreciate everything you've done. You've done amazing for us. But stop. Just stop. Concentrate.
I have to bring into this now. We will discuss it, like you said. When you do look at it, and Majestic said it big time on TalkSport when he was on there. If you look at it and you're saying about the culture of the club and this of the club, as you've just said, 13 semi-finals, finals, or big games where he needed to stand up.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Then you look at it when you got people like, he was mentioning Lionel Messi. And I'm not, before we go into this, I'm not comparing Messi to Kane or Ronaldo to Kane or blah, blah, blah. When he needs to stand up and he needs to drag a team forward.
Ronaldo,
Mbappe in that World Cup final. Big game moments in big games. Those players, right? I'll even go back far as Michael Owen at Liverpool when they beat Arsenal 2-1 in the FA Cup final at Cardiff. Arsenal absolutely battered them that day, and then all of a sudden it was like, right, that's the end of it. I'm going to take over. Got the game done. Listen, I always stand up and say we wouldn't have got to these finals or these positions if it wasn't for Kane, which is true.
Yeah.
But then you look at it when the big moment came. And he could say, right, this is me, I've got it. He has failed to deliver. Wouldn't you agree, David?
He has, yeah. I agree that he's failed to deliver on the big occasions. Do you know what I mean? In, you know, some finals and stuff like that. But then...
13.
Yeah, exactly. But then you could say the same about, say, like Bale. Yeah? How many times did Bale score in big games for us? Yeah, when he's moved on.
He's not slagging the club, Dave. He's not.
No, that's what I mean. If Kane didn't say them words, nothing would have been said. Do you know what I mean? About his finals, about this, about that. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I mean. If he didn't say them words, we wouldn't be having this discussion. Do you know what I mean? He didn't need to bring it up, and it feels like, you know what I mean? Conte said similar, didn't he? You know what I mean? When you look back what he said about the club and everything, about his mentality of not wanting to win and stuff. But you're Harry Kane. You've dragged this team many times through season after season. Now it's like, oh, yeah, but I was just part of a team that had no mentality. Well, why didn't you try and change that? Why didn't you try and adjust that mindset? You were the big name. You know what I mean? You were the top
one that everyone looked up to, right?
Exactly. So why aren't you standing there in the dressing room, like, you know what I mean, and telling them all, saying, look, we got to win this. This is it. Instead of just going, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter.
David, your mates were part of it.
Yeah.
Dyer, Davis, your mates were part of it. The one thing I can't forgive him for, and I will never forgive him for, right? The Champions League, okay? When Moura scored those 3 goals and Harry Kane managed to get up off that bench and celebrate when that last one went in, even though he was injured, right? On that final day, he was about Harry Kane, about self-glory, right? About not missing out on that final. He wasn't about Tottenham Hotspur, because if he was about the club, what he should have done was saying, Lucas needs to play and I will come in off the bench. Because Lucas's face when he got told he wasn't going to play in that final, you just saw him. I never forget, I was in Madrid. I saw most of you were. And I looked at him on that bench and he was broken, right?
Yeah.
Why did you do that to him? This guy, he should have been by rights. If you were going to drop anyone, you should not have been dropping him. But Harry Kane, no, it was about him. He had to be part of that game and he never turned up. He was absent in that game, completely and utterly absent. And that's the one game for me, you know, if you're a team player and you're a captain and you're a leader, you say, you know what, Poch, I'm not right. I can probably got 20 minutes in me, maybe. Let Lucas play and I'll come on and I'll try and do my thing. Because he was on a buzz. When players are on that run of untouchable, like he was, he felt like he was blessed at that point. He could do anything. That's when you play him. You don't cut them down and destroy them. Anyway.
No, because if you look at Llorente, do you know what I mean? He wasn't a big name for us. Yeah. You give players like that a chance. Look at him against City. Came on, and he managed to get that goal at the end. Yeah, it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't majestic, but he fought for that goal against Ajax. Yeah, he's up top. He's receiving them balls. He's knocking the balls down and everything. Do you know what I mean? And Kane, for me, I've got a question for you, both of you, yeah, right? When Conte made them comments about individuals within the club, do you think Kane was a part of that? Part of that individuals? Like Dyer, like all them?
I'm not saying anything. I got told, you know, when I told people back then that Kane was part of the problem, I got called a lot of names. I said, if you knew who were part of the problem, right, you wouldn't be saying this. I said it on streams, and you know, now it will rear its head. If you think that Kane was Mr. Goody Two Shoes and you know, didn't do anything, there was a gang mentality there, right? And he was part of the gang. And that's why I said, you know, Spurs will be better without Kane. I mean, that sounds nonsensical to say such a thing, but we are now a team. Look at Leicester. Leicester won the league without any big names because they played as a team and as a unit. And we have been so centrally focused on Harry Kane. Give Harry the ball. Where's Harry? You know, in our play, everything goes through him. Now, everyone's stepping up. Everyone is stepping up into the plate. And I think it will be like West Ham. I think Declan Rice going and Harry going will be good for both teams.
Right, I'll tell you what. Here we go. We're going to change the subject now because a few people have been asking about it.
Fritzy O'Brien.
I believe the date is set for September the 19th, where Sonny, Postecoglou, and a certain chairman are meeting the fans for a general chit chat and discussion. Now, obviously, good morning to my brother, Mr. Isaacs. Good morning, sir. And to MZ. Big up, MZ.
She's
So,
right there. It's
obviously,
right there.
we've got this coming in, and it's caused controversy, understandably. And obviously, the first part of it is the timing that this has conveniently been done when things are rosy on the footballing pitch, not during the Conte era when stuff was bad, not during Jose couldn't really do it because of COVID, but obviously there has been times for certain things to be done, and now it's come up. Obviously, when it comes to it, people are going. People are saying that this is going to be an open forum. This is going to be easy, but I can pretty much guarantee you that not a certain person that has beliefs that I do, or as staunch and as strong as I do, you can apply. But I have a very strong feeling that, funnily enough, it'll be we won't be responding civil play. So, Johnny, what are you thinking?
It's obvious. It's going to be very similar to Putin open question time, where you can freely, ask any question you like about the regime without fear of being shut down. No, listen. I think it'll be set questions, pre-done. I would be surprised. They might open up the floor, but I don't think they will. They might film it, James. They might well film it. They'd probably bring along the guy with the guitar who done the Ange Postecoglou song. They can't get Robbie in. I think it will be set questions that they know what they're going to be asked. Levy and Only fans. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, Dave, what do you think about this meeting?
Well, like you said, it's convenient timing. Obviously, as much as I want to say horrible things, there's no point. At least he's doing it. You know what I mean? At least he's willing to be out there in the public because we haven't seen it for so long. Like you said, I don't think he's going to hit the floor too much with questions because there's going to be a few people who are going to ask them type of questions that he's really not going to want to answer. And for him to do an open forum like that and then sit there and go, well, no comment, it's just not going to make sense. If they turn around and say, why did you hire Jose? Why did you let Conte do this? Blah, 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 blah. He's not going to sit there and answer. So, I hope they film it so we can actually see generally what he's going to say. But I think it's going to be predetermined of who's going, in a sense.
Yeah.
There's not going to be many open-voiced Twitter people who are going to be allowed to go.
Well, you put it this way. I mean, a few people. Let's just say I think I'm on the. Your name's not down, not coming in. I'm
on the. Will be on the list.
I'm on the naughty step. And I believe it's only to season ticket holders and one Hotspur members that are allowed to attend, which I am neither of.
I tried to apply on both, Brian, and it said, because I applied on my standard and then I tried to apply on my premium, they said you've already applied. But I wonder, will Levy be in his high chair? Because he needs to be in an elevated position. He can't be sat there looking like down
at the same level. Well, this is the thing. I mean, a lot of people, like you said, this is a bit convenient whilst things are good and there's a feel-good factor around the football club. Thankfully, a lot of people see through it. Now, I don't think people like myself, Billy Carnes, Ryan Isaacs, myself definitely not, but I know season ticket holders that have applied that are very, very staunch Levy out. And I can assure you they're probably not getting him. I think you could say this, like you said. I mean, it will probably be scripted questions.
And when did you know you were great, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, is this a new way the club are going, and it's going to be listen? It could be a brand new direction. It could be a brand new direction, and things are changing.
A welcome one as well. A welcome one.
Yeah, but obviously we'd have to see if it happens next season, the season after, or if shit hits the fan. But we're going to have to see what goes on there. I mean, Do you reckon you're going to get you've been accepted, Johnny?
I don't know. I was hoping. What about Mundercover? Is he going to be there? Huh?
That's very good. That's oh, wait a minute. That'll be interesting.
Oh,
that will be interesting. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, let's see what people think about this. You see, Drula's on fire today. He's saying, Johnny, you should, and then a cheap line for our sponsors. Yeah, imagine still asking a question. This is the thing. We will have to see. And this is another thing. Will they have to submit the questions they want to answer beforehand? Yes. Nick, Barry, Sean, Phil, you are completely right. Or I don't know if Brian Ireland would be on the naughty step, but I don't think he's coming over from Toronto. I don't think he's on the naughty step. As a channel, we most certainly are. We're probably top of the list with Tottenham away, in all honesty. If let's just say someone does get in, let's Levy out. Maybe not as staunch as me and others. Do you reckon he'll answer questions if questions are thrown at him, or do you reckon he'll decline to answer and plead the fifth, or no comment, as it's said here?
I just don't think there'll be. I just don't think that they will give that forum, that platform. It will be controlled. People will oblige, and you've been invited here. Please keep to the script, or you'll be shown out. There will be questions, but people will be asked to send in the questions prior, and then they will be selected through the room. So Mr. Fisher's got a question, and then Mr. Fisher will stand up with his question and deliver his question. The only time will come is if Mr. Fisher changes his question and then hits them with something completely different. I think that's the only way. Or they'll read out Mr. Fisher's question. Okay,
we're going to have another guest joining us soon. Someone that has a VIP pass all the time. So there you go. Mr. Coover will be joining us right now. Coover, you've got the link. But yeah, 1 second. I've just got another thing. So Coover will be joining us shortly. Now let's see what people in the comments are saying, because I've just
keep calling me shorty.
I don't keep calling you anything. It will be as fake as a Joe Biden press conference. There we go.
Yeah. Joe Biden doesn't even know he's at the press conference.
Big up. Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, I don't think anyone gets it. I mean, obviously, people will want to hear from Sonny, hear from Postecoglou. There'll be the shields for the great man, and he'll just sit there with his unemotional look, as always. So we're going to have to wait and see what goes on there. I mean, I don't even know where it is. So let's have a look. Some people start questions whilst we wait for Coover.
Will we have a translator there? Do you think there'll be a translator there? And I'm not talking for Sonny, I'm talking about for Levy, so people can actually understand what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because basically, he'll be talking in Levy talk. And
the thing is, though, this is the perfect opportunity for him, yeah, right? I know it sounds daft, yeah, but he's sitting there, right? And this is the first time he's done anything like this for years. We've seen him do that Oxford thing, was it? Do you know what I mean? Or Harvard, or whatever it was. And, you know what I mean? The fans blew up over that and said, why can't we have something like that? So for me, it would be the perfect opportunity to get them questions asked to him by people who are like Stunt Levy out and stuff like that, where he can actually answer these type of questions and be honest for a change. And it would actually give him something more than just ignoring everything.
Coover, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Doing very well here. Morning, fellas. Morning, David. John.
Morning.
Brian. Nice beard game going on as well, David. Got to say.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a mere baby.
Yeah, you haven't. Yeah, in or out. Get off the fence, mate.
So, Coover, where do you? Obviously, we've spoken about the new signing.
Yeah.
We spoke about Kane's comments, and obviously this subject where you joined us about the intended meeting or upcoming meeting. Where would you like to go, buddy?
I'll start off just summing up the new signing. I'm the same as most people. Know nothing about the lad, but you've got to look at the simple facts that he's getting into their Premier Division at the age of 15 and playing. That in itself shows you there's some sort of talent there that's beyond the norm. So
youngest ever, Kuva. Youngest ever.
Yeah. And let's face it, it's Croatia, tiny country, but my God, do they churn out players? Same with Norway. So that's all good. I love that sort of thing. It is the look in the step of the right direction. Future players. I think that's the way to compete with the big guns if we're not going to be spending money, isn't it? We've got to get the cream of the crop when it comes to youngsters around Europe and from our own academy. So I'm all over that. That's great news. As for the Levy and Sonny and
sounds like a song,
meeting the fans, I think
like a band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sonny and Daniel. Sonny and Levy.
Sonny and Dan. Oh God, call
Sonny
me
and
Dan. Steel Eye Dan. No, that's not good. Anyway, I think I've got to say well done to them, because even if doesn't go the way we would like it to as fans, we've got to appreciate that Levy can't come into the stands, can he, and stand around amongst the hardcore supporters. That's not going to go well for him. So he's got to have this sort of controlled environment, and I think bringing the manager and the captain in and just talking to the fans, I think that's a massive step in the right direction, because one of the most frustrating things about this club over the years is the complete silence. It's fueled that huge disconnect we were all talking about last season. And I think bringing it back a bit, even if it's done in a very sort of sterile, scripted sort of way, it's still the right direction. Let's see where that one goes. If, like I think Brian was saying, if that becomes a regular thing, brilliant. I'd love to see a monthly update from the people you expect. It can't be the manager all the time doing it. Let's hear from your captain. Let's hear from your chairman. Let's hear from some board members sometimes, or training staff, academy, the youth development team and things like that. Just little updates. Let us know what's going on. Feel more connected to the club, more like we're part of it, because that was lost over the years. So I think let's see. I can understand all the cautious comments about it. It's a typical sort of Levy move. It may well be. But let's see. All I can do is say if they are making some sort of effort, that's better than making no effort at all. So that's where I'm standing on it. I'm really optimistic about things at the moment. I just feel there's something about Ange arriving that's just changed my attitude to what's happening at this club. Let's see if it lasts, because history suggests it won't.
Well, this is the thing, Cooper. What you got to remember is, and I'll go to you first as well. If it is heavily staged and there's not one question that goes towards Levy and the way things are being run from someone that is not in support of him, or no matter down the line, just questions what he says or what has been going on, would you rather silence than hearing just a load of PR bullshit? So would you rather hear PR? When they say, if you've got nothing to say,
Brian?
If you've got nothing, huh? Sorry, Johnny.
What sort of question would you?
Well, no. I mean, now that's me off the top of my head. But I'm saying, if it's all obviously, we know questions towards Sonny, but especially Postecoglou, are going to be like when you saw that one with Pochettino, where it's going to be all happy and rightly so for them, rightly so. But if there's not one question where there's a bit of heat or a bit of expectancy from Levy to answer genuinely, rather than, oh yes, our commercial growth, and oh yes, this is happening, and oh yes, that's like when the trust asked those questions, and the first question was, what is the immediate to long-term goal of the club? And his answer was, the first sentence was, in the last 16 years, we've been in Europe 15 times. And it's like, well, no, I asked you about now and the future, not about the past. So if there's not one question generated around what's going on at the club, and I will go to Kuva first, would you have rather have just heard nothing at all than PR bullshit?
Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? Because, like I said, it's frustrating.
Journalism.
Yeah, it's frustrating hearing nothing. I suppose take a bit of PR bullshit, just see if you can pull a few little gems out of it, or little nuggets of truth amongst it all. The very fact that they're not communicating angers me more than anything else. So even if we're getting used to these sort of watered down BBC One primetime sort of interviews, it's a start. Let's see if it can develop into something a little bit more open over time. I can't really say until we see what it's like. Let's. I'm just putting the optimistic hat on and just wearing that for this week. See what happens with these press conferences. Well, not even press conferences. Just meet the fans. Meeting the fans has to be a good thing. We need that connection back. If it starts with that and grows, great. If it doesn't, what's lost?
True. David, you can answer this question from Colin and put your thoughts to the question I said.
Yeah, I'm not from Merthyr. No, I'm up North Wales. I am. That's why my accent's not as Welsh. I'm up north, so
I thought I could clearly tell a North Wales accent.
Yeah,
you're right.
it's a mix because we're close to Liverpool. It kind of got mixed over, but no, I'm up north. I am. I'm nowhere near Merthyr.
You're right for the Scoushish.
More people around here sound a little bit more Scouse than what we are.
Okay.
Yeah. I can do a Scouse accent.
Calm down.
Yeah. But yeah, to your question, basically, I agree with Coover. It's nice that there's going to be some sort of dialogue from the club, especially Levy, because he's been like a ghost for years now. Do you know what I mean? Especially through the hardest times. And whether or not it's scripted or, you know what I mean, generic answers to questions and stuff, I'd rather that than this constant silence. Do you know what I mean? And this constant, you know, we get like last season when Paratici first came in, we had them videos for him. I loved that.
Yep.
I love seeing Paratici in a random cafe listening to baby screaming at that and him chatting stuff. Yeah, that felt great. But I'd want that from Levy as well. I want to see him more and more, even though, you know what I mean, he's done so many bad things. It'll still be good to actually hear some form of dialogue from the club. We know it's probably going to be absolute rubbish. I'm not going to say the word, but, you know, it's probably going to be rubbish, and he's probably going to give us that generic, oh, yeah, we tried this, we do that, we're going to go for this, we're going to go for that. But I'd still rather see that than nothing at all. So I agree with Coover. I'd rather some form of dialogue. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, we still get a sense of what's going on in a little way. Do you know what I mean?
There we go. And Johnny?
Look, I agree with David and Coover. I think it's a good step. But, you know, to have OnlyFans, you know, the only ones...
Sorry, when you said that, I thought you meant something completely different when you just said that.
OnlyFans, he probably has an OnlyFans page. But I believe this will be his last one because Undercover will be there at the end of the month. I mean,
I love that, Johnny, by the way. Sorry, I love you saying that.
He started in April. He's been hiding out ever since. I mean, listen, don't tell Man City I'm working here. But, oh, sorry, is this me at the airport with Daniel? Oh, sorry, no, I'm not, nothing to... what's that? Mun on the plane? Listen.
You've got your own franchise going here.
Oh, what's that?
With with all your Mun puns.
Mun pun, yeah. Mun too clever. Mundercover. I think the thing is that he will take control and he will be the front. I just hope that he can speak. Doesn't have a speech impediment or something like that. That he's gonna be mocked. But I hope that this is the start of the interaction between the fans and the board, because I just feel that we are so separated, you know, from it all. There's them and us. They've never felt, to me, I can't remember the last time I felt that the board were anyway part of the being fans and part of the whole thing. So this is a first step to a change in attitude, and you know, Mun will replace Levy, and he'll come to the forums and he'll be more open, talking about the plans for the club. Then great. I'd be interested to see, Brian, what question you ask given the opportunity, and if anyone's listening if anyone's listening now who actually gets there, could you please swap your question for what Brian's going to ask right now?
Oh God, you know what? No, the immediate one that comes to my head is, could I have you alone in a room for 5 minutes? But I wouldn't suggest opening that. You've put me on the spot there. I will come up with a question this week, and then I'll put it out on Twitter as well, just so it gets there. You put me really on the spot there, Johnny. There's so many questions going through my head. It's like literally when people speed read and go through a book. That's what's going on in my brain right now, and I'd have to
find one. It's not easy.
Yeah, exactly. I'll come up with one a day for the rest of the week. The rest of the week of the shows, we'll start off with question for Levy. We'll do that. But yeah, do you know what? We might even wrap it up there today, because if people are wondering why I'm in my shirt, it's Jewish New Year this weekend, and there's a tradition to go visit family members that have passed away, and we're off to see both sets of grandparents. That's why I'm suited and booted, ready to go. So we might just leave it there. So we'll be back with a longer one.
Also, the anniversary of a very infamous event, isn't it, today?
So it is, yeah. It is indeed. God, how long ago was that now? 22 years.
Yeah. So big up all the people in New York who were affected by that, and
yep,
that was just such a monumental event in people's lives.
Everybody never forget where I was, Kuva.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I was actually driving, of all places, to Tesco's, and I heard on the radio a light aircraft has gone into the Twin Towers. And then back in the day, there was this big Tesco's, and they used to sell televisions. And I've gone in there, and I see this burning. And first of all, there was one person, then there was two, then was about 20 people stood around the TV, and then of course I was watching it live as that second plane went into the tower. I'll never forget it. It was, even if you weren't, from New York, it was a shocking day that lives long in the memory, and you always remember where you were that day.
I have to say as well, big up to all the Australians that have come in as well. Like I said, tomorrow we will be talking. Me and Johnny will make sure. I don't know if you two want to join tomorrow. We're going to watch the Age of Ange and discuss the documentary, and then we can start talking more Tottenham things, because it would just be one day away from the international.
Tottenham things.
Tottenham things. Tottenham things. Okay, we can say Tottenham things. Let's do Tottenham things. Why not?
There was one last very tiny bit I forgot to add on to when talking about the meeting the fans bit. And that's even if it starts off very bland and very scripted, it's a way of building trust in that setup. So over the course of time, perhaps both sides relax, you get a little bit more truth out of people all the time. And that's what we're going to look at what it does in the long term, rather than instantly fixing everything. That's all. 100%.
Oh, there you go. And what a way to end as well, because James has come up with an extra pun for you. Will he start working on a Monday? Very, very good, James. Very, very good. But Kuva,
Monday.
Where can people find you, Kuva?
Well, I'll be mostly in the comments section on Ben's coffee shop later on the day, the coffee company. Also Brewing Bollocks on Wednesday. That's the one we do in the afternoon with Bobby K there. Don't talk about football at that point. It's just a chill out thing. Shelfside Spurs Thursday evening, and of course on Saturday, Bobby K and I return on Kuv and the Kang late Saturday night, and that's another. Don't really bother about the football. It's just there for a chill out, relax, bit of stress relief for the week, really. That's what I'm all about. Generally, I tend to stay away from the serious stuff, but sometimes you just got to, haven't you? Damn this.
Exactly. Well, thank you for coming on again, Kuvi. As I said, you're always VIP to come on this channel.
Cheers,
yeah, Jürgen, listen, I don't want to embarrass myself and take shame and pity and do the good Aussie accent any injustice. So apart from saying good day, mate, that might be the only Australian I try to speak. But David, where can people find you, brother?
Yeah, you can see me over on Tottenham Hall. Excuse me. It's another channel similar to this. We just talk things Tottenham, everything about Tottenham and stuff like that. Great bunch of lads. So, yeah, you can find me over there. And if you want to find me personally on Twitter, I'm Rodrigo Roadman on Twitter. So yeah, there you go.
Big up. And Johnny, sir, let's get the finger out there. Oh my God, look at the accuracy there.
He's been practicing.
He's got it.
Johnny, age 32. Actually, if you go there now or after this, you'll see I posted a great goal scored by our new 16-year-old. It's not the header you think it is. It's a long-distance strike. Very impressive. You can also find me on Let's Talk Tottenham 32 on Instagram and TikTok. Just one thing, just before I go, and obviously Angel Management and Tottenham on Tour, I wanted to put forward an idea that if they weren't going to do the statues, could we not have like a walk of fame where we have not stars but footballs of famous players that have played there along the pavement around the stadium? Or is that a thing that's too expensive?
Actually a really that's actually, you should start something going for that, mate. That's actually a really, really good. We've done it for the centre spot of Old White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it outside?
I'm talking about outside the club where
you know what I'm saying, but we've done something. That's what I'm saying, Johnny. We've done something to commemorate what was the old centre spot.
Yeah.
That's actually a blinding idea. And Drew Lark completely agrees with you. Johnny, you've got something there. You've got something there. I think you should go with it. But what I will say, because we come to the end of the show and I'm going to go see my beloved grandparents, is we'll be back tomorrow with a proper length show. We will be discussing Age of Ange. But as always, like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.